Yes, so we are live now on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So if you're watching us, which is probably not the case right now because it's very early, we are going to do a little testing of something new, which is I have with me Div here, by the way. I think most of you who follow me have seen him before. And we're going to do like some questions now. Questions that are simple. And Div is going to ask me the question. I'm going to try to answer. We're going to have some conversations. And we've tried this a couple of times before. It's worked really well because it allows us to like extract out videos and audio clips and post it in short form for those that don't, listen to hour-long podcasts or even longer. So that's what we are going to do today. So you have some questions for me, Div, right?
Yeah, I do have some questions that
Okay,
we're gonna be covering in this particular session. So yeah,
very good. How has it been going with you?
it's going pretty well. I mean, in India, uh, uh, of course, the experience that I had in Abu Dhabi and Dubai was quite good. So back to
Mm,
normal life, uh, and yeah, and building some things out. I recently my app got published on iOS Store, and
oh, wow.
app which got published, and then it is like the second app that I'm building right now, that I integrate a paywall to it, so that, and I have seen some of like ex influencers like Jack Fricks, these guys showing MRRs and provide with some strategies to market our product. So right nowadays about distribution. So that's what I'm diving in right now, and yeah, pretty much different stuff, figuring out things, and um, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
All right. Very nice. I'm going to quickly check that things are working on all the different platforms before we start. Um,
I think
yeah,
my
okay. So we
my video
we
is
got
quite blurry on different
yeah, it's okay.
platforms. That's what
It's
I'm
okay.
saying.
We can't do anything about that, Indian Wi-Fi, as you said, is a little unpredictable, so let's not worry about that. We'll just do it anyway. So LinkedIn, YouTube seems to be working. So if you're watching this again, feel free to send a question our way, and we're gonna cover it here. We're not gonna do a long one today, so we're kind of just testing out this format because it turns out that questions, specifically questions, or rather, when you're younger, you have a lot of questions about life because you haven't lived that much life. And so over the years that I've known Div now, it's been more than 2 years. He has asked, I've also asked him a lot of questions, but he has asked me questions more like, I'm clueless about this. Tell me your opinion. And so let me just say that I am, as I like to say, I'm a stupid person. I'm a dumbass. I'm an idiot. I don't know that much. I'm just one person living this one life with one brain, but I do have some experience, and I like to not go on and on about like this is the way things are done and this is the literature. I just speak from my personal experience, and that has been helpful, it seems like, to Div and to other people as well. And even though I don't like to look at myself as a person who should do this, and it's a little bit pretentious, I guess, to like have a person asking you questions and then posting that on the internet, but it is actually helping people, and it helps me when other people do it. So why not do it still, even though it's a little bit cringy? So that's why we're doing this. And I guess, Div, if you can just do one thing as we go on, because I know with like these type of recordings, if you can just mute yourself while I'm speaking, and then I'll try to mute yourself when you're doing it,
Definitely.
and it
Yep.
won't do the clashing thing. And I think you're lagging behind a little bit. So if you can just stop your video and turn on your video again, that'd be great. Hey, Shub, good to see you. We're doing a little live question asking session here. So if you got some questions, Div has a bunch of questions now to ask me. If you have a question, leave it in the comments and we'll see it and we'll answer it. So yeah, we're going to start in just a second now, couple of seconds maybe, when Div is going to join again. There's always a little bit of problems with technology at the worst times, when right about when you're, it seems like technology always fails like exactly when something important is supposed to happen. That's when it fails. And it seems, because it seems to work most of the time. But right when you are supposed to do a live, that's when the quality drops and it looks like you're playing Minecraft, So, but
Yep,
what are
yep.
you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's okay. Shub has some
It's
questions.
okay.
That's great. Maybe you'll get you can post them as we go. So we'll start off with Div. So maybe Div, on the question list you have, maybe start off with a little simpler one and not like what's the meaning of life or something like that. So,
Sure, sure. So I think nowadays,
and I think we've lost Div once again. I think he's frozen, and I think that, yeah, he is not he is not moving for me. He is frozen. Okay. While we're waiting for Div to join again, I'm gonna read up the questions from Shub. So Shub asks,
really about
yeah,
that. I mean, it's out of my control
no,
right now. The Wi-Fi, my
no, no
place
problem,
is
man. Maybe Div, you
not.
wanna like maybe you wanna try turning off your video for a bit and see if it's only audio. Maybe that'll be okay. More,
Sure, sure.
yeah,
Let me just do that first, and we'll see. Uh,
yeah,
if we'll see whether it's working or not.
okay,
So first question for you, Rafid, is people are mostly have social profiles nowadays, and uh, being a person that is constantly online, uh, people can get online haters, and even people can get haters in real life. So, like, how to deal with haters, like based on your experience, if you want to share to the audience, go ahead.
okay. How to deal with haters? This is the strategy that I like to use. I actually agree with the haters in the beginning because they usually are fixated on one particular thing about me that they just find annoying or something like that, or maybe they don't like the way I look, whatever it is, and they'll just do say that, or they'll say, oh, so they'll generalize your thing to everyone. So you say, oh, so you mean that everyone should do this thing, so they take your personal experience that you've talked about, and then they say, oh, so you think this, huh? And it's like, oh, they generalize that. So whatever they do, I usually like to agree with them. It's like, yeah, actually, I agree with you. That is actually a very good point for these reasons. So because what usually people do is that they go, oh, I'm going to block you, or what you're saying is 100% wrong. And I'm like, hey, anyone in the world, no one in the world is 100% wrong. They probably are able to tell me something that I should actually think about. So let me give them that. And almost always, two things happen. One is that they go silent and then nothing happens after that. And the second thing is that they go, oh, yeah, you're right. I think I was a little bit too harsh. So what about this? And we have a nice conversation out of it. So that's how I deal with haters, and it's a great strategy because for me personally, it's worked great, and I don't take it personally. I don't take it personally.
Awesome. I don't think people should take anything personally.
Yeah,
Just
and
think of make fun of yourself. That's what I think.
as Shub
Whenever the
says,
situation comes.
of course, for the haters, they hate us because they ain't us, which is very true. If you have seen a particular movie,
Yeah,
yeah. We're gonna come to your questions too, Shub. Thank you so much for them. Just keep them coming if you have more. Yes, Div.
Sure.
Go ahead. And
Another
what do you say?
thing, like
Maybe you have something on that too.
on like
Haters.
how to deal with haters.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure. So like how the my strategy is something like this. Like first of all, I don't take it personally. So this is first of all, whenever someone is hating, don't take it personally. Just think of it like this is referencing to Dev. Like I like make myself a different person than Dev. Like I just visualize it like it's only saying it to Dev. So okay, Dev is the person. What you can do is like either be that guy who is like, hey, he has said this to me now. Just fight back, and fight back will of course like trigger you. So you don't have to get triggered. Instead, you'll have to like make that situation into something funny, so that like or either just accept it what they are saying. That's what you were saying. Just
Mm,
accept it whatever they are saying, and then they will
yeah.
not be able to like proceed the conversation, and it will end. So these are
Mm,
just general ways. Mostly just ignore. I mean, if you really can't ignore it, then of course try these things, and definitely it will work.
mm.
Moving forward, like the second question of today's podcast is like how to make people laugh. I mean, making people laugh instantly gives you the opportunity to like make a connection with them. So like what are your views on that, Rafid?
Okay, I have a lot to say on this question, which is how to make people laugh. Because years ago, I was one of those people who would just sit with other people and not say anything and feel a lot of social anxiety. And there would always be one or two people in a group of people that would constantly be able to make people laugh effortlessly. And I was like, how are they doing it? How are they able to think about these things in real time? And oh my God. And I'm just sitting there and I'm also laughing because they're funny. And I thought, I want to be one of those people. And since then, I've thought, okay, how can I actually become funnier? And there's a lot of things you can do here. But one thing, the one tip that I can give you that you can start applying immediately is think about all the things that you think of saying but don't, because you think it's too stupid, it's not going to make people laugh, or it'll make you look stupid, whatever it is. If there's 20 of those, you're not going to say 19 of them, and then one of them you're going to go, no, this is actually pretty good, I'll say it, and everything lines up, and you make that person laugh, or maybe not. But out of 20 times, you only said it once, and you didn't say it 19 times. The difference between you and that person who's able to make people laugh all the time is they are saying, out of 20 things, they're saying 18 of them. And then two are like, no, this I can't say because this is really bad. So I can't say this. But 18 versus one, imagine that day over day after day, you're getting so much practice. I say this, do people laugh or not? Yes, no. You see, it's not even a competition. Take that over years and decades, and that's the difference. And that's what I discovered, and that's what I started doing. I said, you know what? You can't put yourself so much pressure on yourself. You're learning this stuff, so most of the time it's not going to be that funny, but it's okay. You can always say something like, "Oh, that was a fail," right? You can always like comment on your own thing of failing, and then that becomes a bit funny. But you got to just get more things out there so that you can start testing these things. That's the one thing that has made me more, and I'm still working on it. I'm not exactly, like stand-up comedian level, but I've gotten better over the years. So yeah, that's what I would do here.
Yeah,
What
sounds
about
good.
you,
I
Div?
mean,
Any tips from you?
I mean, I'm still learning about it. It's like I was an introvert myself throughout my school days, so I wasn't to make people laugh. But nowadays, I try to find some similarities or some things that may be common in like all of us in a room. So I try to use like whenever I'm giving a presentation or something, I try to make people laugh and like something related to their daily life. Uh, but yeah, I'm still trying to learn. Not that much uh, good at it. So yeah. So moving
Yeah.
forward with the third question, I think, do you have something to add on?
Yeah, I just one little extra thing about the whole funny thing is that um, people think that you have to come up with something very brilliant to make people laugh, like a stand-up comedian does on stage. But really, a lot of being funny is including other people in your life. Like, say something like, I'm so horrible with like money. Like I got my salary like I got my salary a week ago, and it's almost all gone. Anyone else has like the same problem? That invites other people to join in, because the things that we find funny are not very advanced things. It's the common things that we all struggle with. And you say a certain thing in a certain way that someone else go, "Oh my god, yes, that's exactly what it feels like. Oh my god." Yeah. And you just were able to verbalize it in that perfect way in that moment, and that unlocks this thing in another person, and they go ha ha ha, because ha 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 is not something we control. It just comes out of us. So it is kind of complicated, a lot of things working, but just you gotta have just be less strict on yourself, to be like, perfection has to come out every time. So
Yeah, no,
mm,
that's true. I mean, moving forward with third questions, of course, we're gonna keep this podcast really compact,
hmm
and there'll be a lot of clips that we're gonna give to our audience. But if they wanna just listen to a specific question and the answer, they'll be getting that. You were born in, and like, of course, you were born in India, right, Rafit?
yes.
So like, when you were in Norway, like as a 5 year old, I think you moved to Norway when you were 5 year old. Like,
hmm
how you like what to do about racist remarks? You might be an Indian inside a Norwegian school, and all of your friends were Norwegian, and you don't look like them. So how you dealt with racism and racist remarks? Maybe if you could share something.
Yeah. This is a very good question. How to deal with racism, especially if you are growing up or are in a country where you are looking very different, and it's not something that you can hide because it's your skin color or your eye color or your height or whatever it is. Um, how to deal with that? Um, I've been pretty lucky because I personally don't feel like I've really dealt with that much racism. Maybe I just don't focus on it that much, and I'm not even able to see it that much, but my experience overall has actually been pretty good. However, the person who's been the most racist towards me is, I think, myself. So I myself have I remember as a kid, I saw other people, and in Norway, obviously, especially during the time when I was here in the 90s, everyone was white, light. Color of the hair was very different, light, while mine is dark. Um, and I myself looked at them and said, "Oh my God, they're so much lighter, and lighter is better." Because in India, Indians are maybe the most racist people on earth. Even in India, we're like the difference between, let's say, a difference between you and me, Div. The difference between you and me will only be seen by people in India. In Norway, it's the same, right? But they will fixate on that, that is slightly shade lighter or lower. And so there's a lot of like self racism, I think, which is really the even worse than coming from other people. Because if you see yourself also as that, it's much easier to take almost anything as, oh, they're being racist. I'm not saying that this isn't a thing, but for me, that is what was the biggest one. Now, how do you deal with actually? How do you manage it, and how do you deal with racism? I think that takes years. I think that takes a lot of like accepting yourself and understanding that there's nothing you could have done with it, and also understanding that there is nothing wrong with being darker versus lighter. Because you go to the countries where people have lighter skin color and they want a darker skin color, you know so it's just a thing, and you happen to have that thing, and because you don't have the other thing, you want the other thing, and that happens with all of us. So it's just that acceptance that you have to go through, and I honestly don't have like one tip to just give you that'll solve it. It's just telling yourself that I'm enough, I'm good enough. Hopefully, you have other people around you that you can talk to and you can say, hey, I'm like really insecure about my darker skin complexion. And then probably other people will say, why, man, you look great. You have a great skin color. I'm a little jealous actually, because, and so those things over time help. So, yeah, that would be my answer. I don't think that
Yeah,
was a great answer to that one, but that's kind of, but honestly,
I
I
mean,
haven't
of
really
course,
dealt with that much. I
it
think,
will
yeah, people in
go
Norway
ahead.
are very nice. My experience has been very good. I haven't really dealt with it from other people.
I mean, I think you were right. India is that country where racism is a lot of things. Like, people just remark people just out of nothing. So
Mm,
if you just walk out in public, you'll get uncle and aunties. They'll just
yeah.
comment you on, based on anything. So it's
Hmm.
a constant pressure, and Indian kids.
Yeah.
That's what they have experienced. That I was watching one reel recently.
Hmm.
Indian uh, kid. So
Hmm.
uh, she didn't wanted to go to school because like she with her parents in, I think, one of the European countries or maybe Dubai, and she wasn't able to cope up with studies and don't like to go to school
Hmm.
because she thought that like her peer groups, the people, the friends of her are more white, have more white skin. So I
Yeah.
mean, and that video went viral. I mean, the kids should not be. Kids are most sensitive about it,
Yeah.
and they should be taught going to school that, hey, if someone says this, you should be like
Yeah.
you should not respond it by just by crying. So this is something that parents should take care of their kids about it and teach them
Yeah.
about these things. So moving forward, I think that's my perspective over it.
Hmm.
Forward with the third question is like, you've been a founder yourself, I think, Ravid.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
like, what makes a good boss? That's what is the next question.
Mm. What makes a good boss? What makes a good leader? Let me think about this. Okay, there's a couple of things, and so let me think of how to say it. Maybe I can say like top three. So these are the top three things in my experience that makes a really good leader. First of all is communication. The person needs to communicate in a way that you understand, so you actually understand what they're talking about. And they shouldn't be sending you messages like after 1 second of you replying, but it shouldn't be weeks either. It should go pretty fast. So just communication in general needs to be good. They need to communicate very clearly what is expected from you so that you know what you should be working on. That's number one. Number two is that they should see something in you that you maybe don't see in yourself yet. So, apart from hopefully giving you money to work and do stuff, hopefully they can paint a picture of the world that you didn't even think about, where they place you as a very key player in making something happen that makes you go, oh my gosh, I want to be part of that. Because one thing is you showing up somewhere and writing some stuff and writing some code and delivering it, and that's it. That's essentially what we're all doing. But the fact that you know that you're working towards this thing which you can really get behind, and like, okay, let's say for me, education, right? Um, right now, kids are growing up in a world where they're playing video games and watching YouTube videos, and they want to become YouTubers, and it's like one thing and another thing and another thing, and there's no like sit and actually work on something over a long period of time. How can we create systems and platforms and applications and courses and whatever so that kids today can actually learn how to build projects and get them out there in the world. That's just one example. That's one way of doing it versus you're supposed to make a course that teaches this thing. That's just like a little thing. Okay, fine. But oh, I'm part of this whole thing and that's where we're moving. Okay. Because through that, over time, the boss doesn't have to spoon feed you everything because you yourself can make those decisions yourself. And that is what a good boss is, that he or she gets you to a point where you are self-sufficient. After you've learned the basics, is like, no, I'll handle it. That's better for them and that's better for you. That's number two. The third thing I would say is a boss needs to know the technical stuff really well. I hate it when I have bosses that don't actually understand the technology that they're trying to sell themselves. And they're supposed to be the founder or CEO of the company. And I'm like, I can't even have an intelligent conversation about this with you because you don't even understand that what I'm trying to tell you is that we shouldn't be using this database over this one because this is gonna bite us in the behind in 1 year because the bills are gonna be so high because of the read write ratio is too off. And 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 you can have that conversation with me because I understand that stuff. But another person, you can't. And they'll, no, that's fine. It'll be okay. We can pay a little bit extra. It's okay. And then 1 year later, why do we have a 60,000 bill this month? Last month it was 300. Yeah, because the thing went viral and so many people downloaded and you weren't listening to me. So that was a long one. Sorry, but those are three that I can think of. But this is a long thing that we can do a whole thing on. Leadership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leadership is something that is not taught in most of the schools, and
Yeah.
one of the crucial skills that one should have
Mm.
when they are actually
Maybe
building things out.
maybe we should do a couple of audience questions. Shub had a couple, and then we had another
Yeah,
one from
sure. So let me
before we.
pick some questions from the audience.
Mm,
Like she has this question for you, especially Rafa, that
mhm.
what lessons you have learned in 2025, both about life and financial things.
Uh, let's see. What lessons you have learned in 2025 about both life and financial things? That's a little bit too big one. That'll take a long time to do. Let me think of one thing. Maybe I can talk about. Let me think. One thing about life and financial things. Mm. Yes, I'll do one. The Okay, let me see to do it so that it'll look good on video. One of the things I've learned in 2025 is the importance of asking other people for help and using other people in your life so that they can help you reach your goals or whatever it is that you want. So, as a introvert or a person who likes to do everything themselves, you can just say, I can take this on. I can do this as well. I can do this as well. And I can do everything by myself. I have that attitude a lot of the time. And I just like collapse a little bit because it's too much. And my focus isn't, it's not focused enough. And so this year, more and more, I've involved other people. And I've been like, I know I need to get this thing done. And I know that I'm going to forget about it. I know that I know that my accountant is going to come to me and say, did you do this thing or not? And I'm going to, damn it. I didn't even, I forgot about it because there's so many things. So including other people in it is, for example, I have an assistant, right? And let's say that she helps me with something. If I say that every month we have a meeting at this time or every week and we talk about this, and let's say accounting is a thing where things need to be done in a very like straight way, but you have to do it and you have to check it, so it's not easy to automate it because it needs to be checked. um, I won't do it by myself, and I'll just do it at the last minute. So if I have a meeting every week and I know it's coming up, I have to do it. I have to give her whatever she needs from me so she can do her work. That forces me to systematize my life in a way so that that ends up happening. When that happens, 4 weeks in a row, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, then it's a habit. So that I've learned as a big lesson. And I'm just like, I want to do that with so many things, with like working out or something like that. Let's involve another person so I know that I'm responsible in that way. So it's not just on me and my willpower to get it up and do the thing. If I don't do a thing, another person said, hey, you didn't do that thing, do the thing. Okay. So that just changes the game entirely, because I really struggle with that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that would
Yeah,
be. mm,
I think should we move forward with the next question?
yes.
Like, so next question is like, what are your plans for 2026? I mean, if you want to tell people
Uh,
about it.
yeah. Mm, I'll tell one plan about 2026. I've been teaching kids for 9 years now, and I've used different tools to teach them. And this year, I discovered that Roblox is the way to go. I knew about it for years. I resisted it, but I tested things out this year. It worked really well, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on in 2026. For the offerings I have for kids, it's going to be only Roblox Studio. So I have tons of free courses that I'm working on that I'm going to be putting out. Some of them are already out there. I'm holding camps. I'm holding live sessions. It's a lot of different things there. If you want to check it out more, go to hoda.camp. See more of that there. Definitely something that has been working in a big way, and I want to focus on that. That's only one thing, but that's going to be one of the big focus things for 2026.
Awesome. I think this question was from Mohammed Aman and also Shab. Uh, Other question, we'll take some of the audience questions afterwards.
Mhm.
Let's move forward with the question list that we have. Is You've been like working for the past decade, I think, right, Rahul?
Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, like a professional life, more like 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
Mm,
So, like, how do you talk to women at work, and how do you set boundaries with them?
mm. Okay. Yeah, this is a good question. Let me think. This is a question you have to be a little bit careful with. Uh, okay, how to talk to women at work. This is a tough one because it turns out that for a lot of us, if you're going into an office, you're actually spending more time with your coworkers than with your spouse or partner, right? And it's no secret that a lot of relationships start at work, which also means that a lot of affairs start at work. And so we are human beings. And just because you have already a partner, or maybe you don't even have a partner, but you don't want to just, fall in love with anyone that you meet, like at work, you need to be a bit mindful about how you interact with the opposite sex at work. These are some things that I think about when it comes to this. You have to be very professional. This is my opinion, okay? This is just one person talking about his own opinion. Feel free to disagree with me on this. We're all sending signals to each other all the time. And if I like a person, or if I even don't like a person, but I'm flirting with them a lot, right? I'm laughing extra hard at their jokes, and I'm like, oh, you're always making these jokes about me, versus ha ha ha, and then on to the next thing. You see the difference, right? And this is something that someone can say, well, this is just me. This is how I am with everyone. You can be like that. That's okay. That's your choice. But you are sending signals to the other person. And one of them, where you're very like touchy feely and ha ha ha, and I'm so close to you, is maybe uh, not sending the right signal all the time. Uh, so you have to be very careful how you are around people in this situation, because just know that even subconsciously, they are taking you in and forming certain, like, I guess, opinions about you without even knowing it themselves, because it's just, we're just at work and having lunch, but these things actually matter. And so yeah, that would be my tip on that. Be very, like, conscious about what type of signals you want to be sending to people.
Okay.
Nothing
Follow-up
wrong.
question with this, like, what do you mean by professional? Being
Mm,
professional at work. If you just wanna give us 1 minute
yeah.
summary about it.
Being professional at work means that when there is a meeting and there is an agenda for something, you stick to that, and then you go, okay, that was it. Have a
Got it.
good rest of your day,
Yep.
rather than staying for another 20 minutes. Oh, how is it going with you, and what about that thing that you were going on, and like, maybe do that with a person that you're not, like, maybe do that more with a person that you're fine, nothing like that can happen, versus a person where you might be a little bit scared that something like that can happen. So just think about these type of things. I think for me,
Got it.
that's
Yeah.
being professional.
Following up with a really a question that like guys have to face or any guy has to face is
Hmm.
like, how will you tell your mom like you like a, so yeah, go ahead with
Yeah.
that. It's quite a like like personal question of a lot of
Hmm.
folks mind. So yeah,
Hmm.
go ahead.
Can you repeat that question, because I know which question it is, but you dropped off there.
How to tell your mom you like a girl?
Yeah.
It's a kiddish question, but it's really important because, anyways, you'll have to introduce sometime soon to your parents,
Yeah.
and it's common in Indian family, so might
Mm,
be a question directed to Indian audience.
yeah. uh Let me just think about this for a second. Mm, mm. um, let's actually. We were gonna not go on for this. It's a good question, Dev, but I think this is like,
Okay, sure. Let's
yeah,
let's let's do it afterwards.
yeah.
Let's
Let's save this
change the
one for,
question.
yeah. So we can
Yeah,
we can end the session now, and then it's not that I don't want to answer this question. I do have an answer,
no worries.
but
I totally get that. Yeah.
yeah. But I think we can end here, and then we can, we're gonna do more of these later. So I think we have enough time now.
We really answered a lot of questions today,
Yeah.
so we
And also
can, yeah.
thank you for all the people, Shub and Kamakya, Narayan,
Yeah, thanks Shiv and Kamakya. He's one of my
and
friends. So yeah.
Aman as well for the questions. We're gonna do more of these. This was just a test, so thank you for showing up, and then we'll,
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
yes. All right then, and thank you, Dev.
Thank you, Rafat.